Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. Over the past 7 years, we've understood what matters most to you, the entrepreneur. And in year 8, we're taking head-on two of your most pressing concerns, that of funding and mentoring. I'm Sunanda Jayaseelan. On the show tonight, we're being joined by Shailendra Kumar, the MD of Oracle India. On the other side of a break, a conversation with Lendingkart. In our first conversation tonight, I'm talking to Shailendra Kumar, the MD of Oracle India, to ask him about why Oracle is so excited about the domestic market, what he sees as a strategy when it comes to hiring and retaining the right talent, and his advice for small businesses based on his experience, skilling, reskilling, as well as what the future roadmap is looking like when it comes to small businesses. All that and much more in this exclusive conversation. Do take a listen. Let me quickly welcome in Shailendra Kumar. He's the MD of Oracle India to talk about why they're so excited about the India growth story. Shailendra, good having you here on the show. My first question is just that India, I understand, is one of the fastest growing markets for you in the APAC region. What about this market is so exciting? Can you set the stage for our small businesses to say, sitting where you are, this perhaps is how you're viewing the opportunity here?
So thanks Sunanda. Let me start with, I think what we see in the market today is very exciting. And when I say exciting, I want to talk about growth because growth is coming all over and from all the sides. You see VCs and angel investors, they are investing big time in the country. We are seeing more and more unicorns coming out from the country, and all backed by 100% tech ideas, very powerful tech ideas. So that on one side. On the other side, everything which is happening in public sector, with the whole agenda of Digital India, we see many projects being brought to the fore, many projects which are being discussed. There have been discussions in defense, there have been discussions in agriculture. We are involved with very big projects with Ministry of Finance, both on Central Board of Excise and Customs as well as with Central Board of Direct Taxes. We just finished a pilot with Niti Aayog, and as part of that pilot, we are trying to track the fake drug distribution. This we have done, of course, with Niti Aayog's support along with Apollo Hospitals and Strides Pharma. And what we have done is we have also added IoT to it to ensure we are also able to track the chemical composition of the drugs. So overall, I would say what I started with very nice to discuss with our customers, and we have approximately 15,000 customers in India that include big enterprises, that also include many emerging businesses, growth businesses, public sector. So all across I see excitement, and overall I'm quite excited. Everyone within Oracle is quite excited to see what is happening in the country today.
Speaking of the size of the market and how important it is for you, Shailendra, I understand 40,000 people is what you had as of last year. All your critical functions across the world being represented here in India. Just give us a sense of what you're looking at closing the year out at, because that will give us also an idea really of how critical this market is, how you're viewing it when it comes to talent, etc.
So in India, we have almost all line of businesses represented in the country, and approximately 50 plus line of businesses, including sales, support, marketing, consulting, our back office. And we have been hiring every year to ensure that people have the right skills to invest in the areas they like. But again, the skilling process is very continuous process. So someone joining today in one function may like to move to other function and get more and more expertise. So overall, the plan for the next year, they're still in progress, and we see some incremental coming very soon.
For a company that's hiring on the scale that you do, my question is, how do you find the right fit in a market where, industry body NASSCOM, for instance, saying that not even 20% of all students coming out of colleges having the right skill sets for the jobs that they're entering? How are you finding, hiring, training, upskilling, reskilling the employees and the people that you're really hiring? What advice would you have based on that for our viewers?
So that's one of the most important points because any organization, the human asset is the most important asset. You need to have the right people for the job with the right kind of aspiration, right kind of focus and motivation. And I would say if I had to pick up my priorities, this is the top priority, that we are able to get right people, train them well, and ensure that we are able to support them till the time they are successful. And we know if they are successful, the organization is going to be quite successful. So what we have done is we have shortlisted top 100 colleges in India across engineering as well as management. And we pick up the best talent from that place. So you go to best colleges and pick up the best people from that place. This is one part, but the next part is very, very important, where we train them. As I said, we have all line of businesses represented in India. So when the moment we allocate them various line of businesses, we ensure that they are able to get the understanding of that particular line of business, skill them to the hilt, and ensure that they are ready for the job, whether it's development or support or finance or sales or anything. But the skilling is an ongoing process. It's not that we skill them at the time of hiring. We skill them quite regularly. Maybe after a year, someone wants to join a different LOB, he or she should be ready for the next job as well. So it's a continuous process. We give them a lot of technical training, a lot of soft trainings, a lot of cultural training so that they understand the organization well, they understand the focus and the objective of the company quite well, and they can contribute quite well. One of the things which I have been saying quite regularly, when we hire someone, it's not that we are just giving them a job. We are giving them a career. We are attaching their family to bigger Oracle family. So everyone has to be very, very successful.
You're saying that you look at the top 100 colleges across the country, Shailendra, and my question is just that for a small business that's saying, I can't afford to go to these colleges, you were talking about soft skill training, you're talking about cultural training, etc. Businesses that can't afford the cost that's associated with that, what advice would you have? And also, we do have, bodies like the NSDC, the National Skill Development Council. How much of an impact perhaps is that having as far as small businesses is concerned?
I very strongly feel so. Yes, it has been quite beneficial. The first thing is the emerging businesses or the small businesses, what you talk about, they have to be very clear about their aspirations. They need to do a lot of lateral thinking. They need to do a lot of cross thinking to ensure that their ideas are workable and they can meet up their aspirations. After that, what is important is they need to also provide some kind of skills to the people they hire. I don't think there'll be any organization that can hire people who can start contributing from the day one. It's very important to share the vision itself so that people understand and imbibe it and work towards it, which is very important. If I see Oracle certainly is a very big organization, approximately a $40 billion company. But within Oracle, I see at least in India, there are some 20, 30 startups, a small organization within a bigger organization working towards a goal. To give an example, we started our data center a couple of months back, and we have created few teams, and they are separate kind of teams working on different kind of objectives. One of the big objectives being autonomous data warehouse, which is a totally new team formed within an organization and going after the line of businesses We are addressing HR, we are addressing finance, we are addressing marketing, service, sales, for example, with our solutions. This is something new which Oracle has never done. A couple of years back, we started Oracle Digital Prime, by virtue of which we have started going to small businesses, startups, emerging businesses with our solutions, something we never did earlier. But we know this is the place where we have to be participating and participating in a very strong way. Again, as I said, there were challenges, but the kind of results what I see, they are very exciting, and we continue to invest more and more in that area.
Shailendra, thanks so much for your time here on the show. I'm going to slip into a short break on that note. Lendingkart is on the other side. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on the show, Lendingkart is in focus. Our second influencer is with Lendingkart. He spoke to me about what his experience has been like from going from the corporate sector to turning entrepreneur, whether he had that one aha moment that helped him, why the fintech space is changing so much, what it means to take on competition in that space, and what his way forward is looking like. Take a listen. Thank you very much for your time and for coming down to our studios and really talking about both your personal inspiration as well as what that professional journey has been like for you at Lendingkart, Harshvardhan.
Sure. Thank you, Sunanda, for hosting me here and inviting me for this event.
Let's talk about your journey from going from the corporate world to saying that the fintech space is where you want to become an entrepreneur. What's that been like for you?
It was not exactly like a moment of karma where I decided that
there was not one moment.
There was not one moment, but it was a thought that was going on behind me. So I come from a typical middle class, upper middle class family, right, where you get educated, you go abroad, take a proper job over there and stay over there, right, essentially. But your parents normally don't expect you to come back home and start something. But sometimes it happens in life that whatever you aspired for, right, you go to London, pick up a job over there, and then you always eventually think that you'll play golf and retire over there. But that then after a certain time, it feels like, okay, this was not totally meant for you and you want to do this for the rest of the life. So that's where the thought of doing something of my own, coming back to India, starting a startup came up. And because I had been in banking, that was the best move that I could see. While my experience was with small businesses, I was always intrigued with what's happening with small businesses, how they raise money and everything. And I come from a typical Marwadi business family, so money has been kind of in blood as well. So that's where it seemed a natural progression that I could come back to India, start a similar business and see how it progresses.
Okay. Was it easy though? Because lending in India, and what most people who are in your space tell us is that when it comes to lending in India, it's definitely not an easy journey to be an entrepreneur.
Yes. So I think this has different shades to it, Sunanda. I think if you had to ask someone before the internet age started or before the mobile penetration happened in India, or data was easily accessible or comparatively available, it would have been very different, right? Because you had to create a branch and spoke model, hire, recruit people, give money through them and everything, which is prone to risk and everything. But now that we are moving into the new age, essentially mobile phone costs are coming down, essentially data costs are coming down. Data is easily accessible for the new age people and comparatively younger generation as well. It is less riskier. Obviously, it's part of our business to give money, and that is risky, but it's comparatively much more less riskier now.
Okay, so let's talk about the USP then of Lendingkart. What do you want our viewers to know about the business model?
Sure. So in lending, basically, Sunanda, it's always believed that the USP is how you underwrite risk. Right, so somebody who goes and evaluates the customer and everything. But in a branch and spoke model, the idea, Sunanda, is that you have a flow of people coming in through your branches, you credit evaluate them and give them money. In the digital world, that's distinctly different. In digital world, what you have is you can have the right kind of people come on your platform as well, who you can then underwrite and then give money and collect it back from them. So our process of using data analytics, data science or algos doesn't start from credit. It basically starts from what kind of people actually we are attracting on our platform.
Sure.
Then we give them money and then collect it back, right? So this is I cannot say there's one thing. It's the entire process that we have designed turns out to be a USP or a moat for us.
Okay, fair enough. I want to talk specifically about what's happening when it comes to the lending scenario in India, particularly for small businesses. We're looking at the NPA crisis at, you know, it's the worst it has been in a decade. Whatever's going on globally has also had an impact as far as the economy here in India is concerned. Small businesses saying they're struggling to raise funds. Sitting where you are, perhaps, you know, what's your outlook and what's your advice for businesses when it comes to raising funds? What may be, you know, are the common things that they're doing that they shouldn't be doing when it comes to raising funds?
So I think when you say small businesses, Sunanda, there are different categories of small businesses, right? We basically cater to only micro businesses. So my typical small businessman that I cater to would be running a coaching class, computer academy, or a two-wheeler repair shop, four-wheeler repair shop, a mobile phone retailer, an apparel retailer. So what we are realizing is that economic slowdown hasn't basically affected these guys, right? Because we haven't stopped sending our children to coaching classes or maybe buying mobile phones comparatively or buying clothes, right? He's a tailor, barber, parlor comparatively. He's a small shoe shop owner and everything. So we haven't seen comparatively that slowdown. So for us, Touchwood, we've been growing phenomenally well for last 5 years and we continue to do that.
Okay. Whenever we talk to large lenders, large banks, they point to the cost of acquisition when it comes to the micro segment that you're involved in. How has that worked for you?
So that's very true, right? Acquiring a customer and giving him a small loan, then honoring him and taking money from back is a cumbersome job, right? Unless until you digitize that process and you have technology involved in it and it becomes seamless, it is very cost heavy, right? So I think from day zero, Sunanda, we realized that we will have to create a digital platform and make it work around it, because otherwise, like others, we won't be able to survive as well. So for us, it's been a learning process all across 5 years. If you ask me, have we figured it out all? No, it's still a learning process, learning journey. But yeah, we've been there and we've done multiple things which has helped us to keep cost in control.
Okay. I do also want to talk about the fact that, you know, you have, I understand, a product development arm which is based in Bangalore. Just talk to us a little about that. So I started this company in Ahmedabad. Basically, it was a least cost location because lodging and boarding was basically provided by my parents. Right? So I didn't have to pay for them. But then there was a time where we needed a certain skill set which wasn't that conveniently available in Ahmedabad. So we had to we had to create a Bangalore office for tech, product, digital marketing, data science, and those kind of new age verticals which you find more in larger cities in India. And we went ahead and did that. So Bangalore was a precursor of what we couldn't get in Ahmedabad. Okay. And, you know, since we've been talking about digital, I want to talk about data as well. And that's becoming data mining and, you know, sort of optimizing of that data is also becoming a big opportunity for companies like yourself. What's the big, you know, what's the big plan really when it comes to then perhaps monetizing the data or using the data more effectively? What insights can you share on that?
So, Sunanda, I think our generation basically that is there today, right? They want convenience of services and timeliness of services, right? Which is very critical, right? Just to give you an example, if we order on a food delivery platform, right? What we get at home is a food in a proper form delivered to our home, right? Which is a convenient and a timely thing, right? We could have sent our Ramu as well to get it collected from the restaurant, but we use a platform, right? Similarly, for financial services, things are now moving in this direction where people want timeliness and convenience of money as well. What data helps you is creating all of this, right? So it could have been a people-led process where you could go interact with people and everything, but standardizing that process is very difficult, right? You could have a pitch for a guy and he could go and speak the same pitch, but the tone, message, behavior and everything, it's difficult to standardize. People are trying to do that, but when you do a digital platform, you can digitize it a lot and make it work. So data helps in all of those things, which is changing the economy, and we are just part of it.
Okay, as we're closing this interview, anything that you want to tell us about Lendingkart Finance?
Yeah, actually, so we've been doing wonderfully well. We are growing as well, but I just joke with my team that the good part is we are alive and kicking. And this is a wonderful age or time in India to be a part of these things, right? Where we are going from human-led innovations to machine-led innovations and everything. And maybe next 10, 20 years, we can be a part of India. That will be a very different India from last 20 years, what we have seen.
Sure. Okay. I also very briefly want to, talk about the fact that when you launched 5 years ago, the market was very different. And you're talking 20 years, but even in the last 5 years, particularly in the last 2 years, given demonetization, 2.5 years. How do you as a company then, develop, you were talking about your algos, etc., but how do you ensure that your USP, you're sort of retaining that, you're staying relevant, you're taking on competition? How are you doing that?
So yeah, it's been pretty exciting times last 5 years, Sunanda. When we started out, we had an early mover advantage of where we could build things, take time, relax, and enjoy the creation process of creation. Then I think early 16 was a period where you had every month of fintech coming in. 17 was a period where every month you had 2 fintechs coming in. I think 18 was a period where every week, and now I think every week 5 are coming in. Right? So I think it's a rush to create something, build something. I think so. One, we thank God as a team that we had enough time to learn, build, and enjoy that process of gradual progression. And second is there is a bit of learning curve as well for all these things, right? You just cannot come one fine day with a pot of money with you and spray the money and decide that, okay, I'll do this. Because see, finally, this is about understanding the borrower, giving him money and collecting it back, which has a different set of data points involved, right? We've lent money in 1300 cities. So to give you an example, we've given money to a guy even in Guwahati, Jammu Kashmir, Jamnagar and Kanyakumari. 99% of our borrowers, we never see them. And 99% of our borrowers will never see me, right? So if today I go to a shop owner who I've given money, and if I buy certain products from him, who would never know that I am Harsh and Lendingkart has given him money, right? But this involves learning. It cannot be one fine day that you come up with a model to build this. So that's kind of worked for us, and we are still building on that.
Great. So what next for you? You're saying 1300 cities, where you headed to next? Anything that you want to leave us with?
So one of the key things, Sunanda, for us as a team has been, we always believed we'll be inch wide and mile deep, right?
Okay.
So we will always pick up the things that we can do best and try to be best at it. It's worked for us for 5 years. I think it should work for us for next 5 years. So we've been giving money to small businesses. The idea is to just continue doing that. India is a capital-starved country. We have thousands and thousands of small businesses which we have still not been able to cater to. I think if we want to just do that, right? And just we joke as a team that so people do ask us, right? Tomorrow, if there are no people left to give money to, I think our job will be done, right? The Lendingkart would have achieved its purpose. So there's nothing new coming up. We will just keep our heads down, keep rolling on what we've been doing and build on that.
Wish you all the very best, though.
Thank you, Sunanda.
Harshvardhan, thanks for coming to us today.
Thanks a lot for hosting me here. Thank you.
That's all we could bring you tonight on this episode. If you have any feedback for us, as always, we're all ears. Do let us know. Our contact details up on your screens in just a moment. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.